Hello and welcome to the Tech and Sports Podcast. Tech and Sports is a show about how technology is revolutionizing all of the major sports as well as health and fitness. You can find it on your podcast service of choice. My name is Alex Radu and I'm here with the phenomenal Mandy Kovacs.
Hola!
Today we'll be pitching new sports based off of recent and futuristic technological advancements, plus all the biggest news in sports tech from the last week. But before we get to that, just a little bit of housekeeping. As always, we would really appreciate it if you would review and rate the Tech and Sports Podcast on iTunes and Google Play, or wherever else you get your podcasts from. It really does help us grow the show, and we really appreciate all the support so far. And do you have a topic that you'd like to see us explore on the show? Did we miss a new story that you think we should cover? Or do you have impossibly hard trivia that we could answer? Just email us at techandsports@itwc.ca, and we will be sure to incorporate it on the podcast. You can also tweet at us. I'm at Alex T. Radu, and Mandy's at Mandy V. Kovacs.
Yep.
So, Mandy, where can they email us again?
techandsports@itwc.ca.
Awesome. All right.
Nailed it.
And with that, sit back and relax, because the Tech and Sports crew is entering the game. So, Mandy, the news.
All right, so our first story of the day should get hockey fans excited. The NHL has revealed plans for a league-wide optical player and puck tracking system for the 2019-2020 season. If you recall, last year during the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, the NHL tested out player tracking by embedding transmitting chips into their jerseys. But this new system would be completely non-invasive and not require anyone to put on a wearable. Commissioner Gary Bettman told NHL.com that more research and development needs to be done because the league is essentially inventing something that doesn't currently exist. However, he was optimistic about the system becoming operational within 2 to 3 years, or even potentially for next season's Stanley Cup playoffs in 2018-2019. For comparison, the NFL requires its players to wear tracking chips on their shoulder pads, but the MLB's StatCast system uses radar to track pitches, and the NBA has an optical system too to gather data. However, the sticks and speed involved in hockey present unique challenges for developing an optical tracking system, not to mention the game takes place in an enclosed space, so we'll have to keep you all updated on the NHL's progress here. Bettman did also say back in October that the league is committed to working on dramatically updating its technology, so I think on a personal note, that makes me excited for the future of the NHL, which in many ways has fallen behind, and we've had that discussion quite a bit, so what are your thoughts on this, Alex?
I think it's obviously a step in the right direction. I think what's going to be really interesting to see how much of those statistics we actually see as fans. Mm-hmm. Because I know a lot of the stats that a lot of these leagues are picking up this way, they're kind of just using it within themselves and not really sharing it with the public, which is totally fair. But it's really cool to see the NHL actually finally doing something progressive. Mm-hmm. Or is it even progressive when they're catching up? I don't know.
And the fact that this is still not supposed to be implemented for another 2 to 3 years as well.
Yeah, I don't get that either. It's like the earliest we might see it is not this playoffs or next season, the next season's playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of...
But again, they are kind of inventing a whole new thing, so, we gotta give them some slack, I guess, for at least trying, maybe?
I guess.
I don't know. Anyways, next we have news that the NBA will be broadcasting games from its G League on live streaming social platform Twitch, beginning officially on December 15th. If you don't know, it was formerly called the D League, and it is the NBA's official developmental league with 26 of 30 NBA franchises having a team competing in it. This partnership means at least 6 G League games a week will be streamed on Twitch, and after they air, they will be available on demand from the G League's Twitch channel video library. G League president Malcolm Turner calls the deal groundbreaking and notes in a statement that the feed will also feature on-demand game statistics for viewers whenever they want. One of the highlights of Twitch is that it lets users chat in real time on the platform, which the NBA thinks is a perfect way to encourage fan engagement. Twitch has 15 million daily active users, and it's particularly popular in the video game world. And Alex, you're a gamer, so do you see the collaboration between Twitch and basketball being successful? I think this is a brilliant move. This is really... So Amazon owns Twitch. Mm-hmm. They bought them. So this is a huge move by Twitch, considering that YouTube's kind of all over the place right now, and a lot of people are looking for what other services are out there to see, what the future of streaming video is going to be like. And this is really cool for the G League and just for the NBA in general, because the NBA kind of has this problem where it doesn't have a good developmental league. And they're finally doing that with the inclusion of two-way contracts now. Like, that's just a brand new thing in the NBA, even though we're used to it in a lot of other sports. The matter of the fact is that not even every NBA team has an affiliate in the G League. Yeah, we're missing 4 teams still.
Yeah.
Although I think 1 is being added as of next season.
The Wizards are going to be showing up next season. But it's really interesting. Now it's kind of... It gives fans more of an opportunity. I think if you were to compare this to hockey, for instance, you look at the AHL. Imagine if the AHL was just easily on demand for free, able to just stream a recap of it. Yeah. That'd be really cool, and I think that would help gain awareness of some of the younger players and some of the players you might be interested in. And now it's kind of, this is another step to doing that. If this is successful, maybe we're one more step to the NBA is constantly talking about how they're going to draft rookies and, the year one and done kind of thing in college. Mm-hmm. So if they're drafting someone like Markelle Fultz, who was the first round draft pick, or the first pick of the draft this summer, he would be perfect in the G League. And I know a lot of Sixers fans aren't happy about that, but he could be playing in the NBA, but if he was leading their G League team and really learning and developing there, that would be a really cool thing. And especially if everyone's able to see that happening, it might be a little easier to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, and continuing with the broadcasting news, the NFL has signed a new deal with Verizon to expand its mobile live streaming services. According to ESPN and the Wall Street Journal, this is a multi-year deal apparently worth more than $2 billion. The partnership will kick off in January by streaming the NFL playoffs, which includes the Super Bowl, on Yahoo and the Yahoo Sports website, which Verizon acquired in June, as well as on the NFL mobile app. Verizon will also make NFL highlights and weekly coverage available for fans on the mobile app, and will also develop original content in conjunction with the NFL too. The Verizon will also be working with individual NFL teams as well to implement smart stadium technology to improve internet services in football stadiums over the next couple years. So again, just good news,
Good for stadiums.
Yeah, exactly. I think that'll really benefit a lot of places. And then, I swear this is the last streaming story of today, but Apple is getting in on the game too, and is making it easier for those using its Apple TV app to keep up to date on sports content. The app supports live sports thanks to its latest software update, and now fans can choose to follow their favorite teams so that live games show up first in their up next queue. They can receive notifications across all their devices when a game is about to start, and if a game is already live, current scores and how much time remaining can be displayed in a new dedicated sports tab within the app. ESPN and the NBA's League Pass are available on the Apple TV app, and with Amazon Prime Video newly available as well, fans can get access to the NFL's Thursday Night Football. So, pretty good gig.
Yeah, no, it's awesome for Apple TV users, and, it just shows the importance of these league passes. You look at how the NBA is killing it with theirs, and how it's doing really well for them overseas and growing the sport across the whole world. So it'd be nice to see, like the NHL Game Center, for instance, which is honestly terrible.
So, yeah, it's not great.
Get involved with stuff like this.
Yeah, hopefully. And another quick story from the NBA, the league has introduced a chatbot to its direct messaging on Twitter, so you can now slide into its DMs and get some real-time updates on your favorite team. I really just put the story in so I could say slide into DMs. But anyways, when you send the NBA's Twitter account a direct message, you're prompted with a menu of easy access options that can be personalized based on your favorite team. And some of the options you can choose from include looking through video content the NBA has posted on Twitter, scores and schedules, Twitter shows, and more. It seems like a fun way to interact with fans. So, Alex, will you use this?
Absolutely not.
You don't want to slide into the NBA's DMs? God, can't even say that without laughing.
I mean, it sounds like one of those pieces of technology. It's like, oh, a chatbot for this. It just sounds so unnecessary.
It is very unnecessary.
I have the ESPN app on my phone.
Yeah.
I can just open that if I want to see scores, or I could just go on I don't need to message them to see, if they're videos that I can just go on their profile and see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the point was, but I guess they just want to keep interacting with fans, get them to their Twitter account. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so to wrap up the episode, this is a story that we missed last week, but I wanted to bring it up because it's pretty important and it shows us here at Tech and Sports that we might be moving in the right direction. The Sports Innovation Lab, which is a tech-powered market research company focused on the sports sector, is currently building a new sports technology-focused workspace in Boston that will hopefully encourage more communication and collaboration between emerging sports tech brands to solidify the future of sports technology. The facility will feature private offices as well as co-working spaces, lounge spaces, conference rooms, and a media production suite for people to rent out. And this move is in partnership with WeWork, and it's set to open in February 2018. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, more technology in sports is exactly what will first keep us doing this podcast.
Yep.
And second, it kind of ties into our discussion that we're about to start having about what could be the next sport.
All right, yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah, so today we're gonna decide. We're kind of gonna come up with these sports that might soon exist because of technology. Kind of this idea that will technology invent a new sport?
At least we hope it does.
Or I mean, yeah, we hope it does, but I don't know what it could look like. Or it may even change some sports, as I'll talk about later. But I am particularly excited for the magical idea that Mandy is bringing to the table. So Mandy, there you go.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. So I didn't quite make up a sport, but I'm turning a fictional one into reality because I'm pitching real-life Quidditch because, I mean, Harry Potter is the best and it should be real forever. Yep. So for non-Harry Potter fans, quickly, Quidditch is played on brooms, and the goal is to get points by throwing a ball into your opponent's net, which are 3 hoops of varying heights at one end of a stadium. There are defenders that can guard the hoops, and also beaters that can use a baseball bat type thing to hit balls at other players to knock them off their brooms. And the game is only over when the seeker catches the golden snitch, which is a tiny ball with wings that zips around wherever it wants, and it's incredibly hard to catch. That's what Harry Potter did in the movies and books. And so for you Harry Potter people out there, you probably know that Quidditch technically does exist in real life, and I was on my university team. I don't know about you.
I was not, but that was due to scheduling conflicts.
Yes,
not
same.
the lack of trying.
Yeah, but so it's basically a bunch of people running around on the grass holding brooms, and the snitch is a dude dressed in gold that can run wherever he wants to escape the seekers, and it's really fun to watch, and it's hilarious to play. Don't get me wrong, but it's limited to human abilities, so I think that we can make Quidditch a real-life thing using technology instead of magic. So let's start with the flying part. To make brooms fly, we could totally use hover technology, and I don't mean those stupid ones with the wheels that started catching on fire that went viral last year.
Oh yeah, the hoverboards that are very not hovering.
Yeah, they're not hovering at all. So moving on from that, Lexus actually made a real-life hoverboard in 2015 that uses magnets and a magnetic track to actually levitate a few inches off the ground. So I'm imagining maybe a court or an arena of some sort where the entire ground is just like a magnetic field, and then these brooms will have like magnetic strips built into them, and they just like float and hover off the ground. I don't know how high they can get off the ground, but like it's a start.
See, that's a really cool idea though, to making hoverboard like in flying and sports kind of a thing, is if you were to just make the entire field a giant magnet.
Yeah, why not?
That can potentially lift people like, what, 50 feet off the ground or something like that.
I don't know if it's that strong. I feel like we could probably only get like 5 inches.
I know, but like in this hypothetical future,
that's true.
Maybe we can.
No, that's true. Maybe magnets will be better then. I don't know. I mean, I think all you need to put is like a mechanism on the brooms to actually make them move, like a jet of some sort.
Or
I don't
like,
know.
Yeah, I don't know, but whatever. We can
right? That'd be
out.
Cool. But I don't know how expensive magnets are. I'm not really sure about that. I didn't actually look it up. So I have another option. And in my research, I found that there was a Canadian entrepreneur. His name is Philippe Malouf. He's been working on a board that has tiny helicopter blades underneath it that can legitimately make people fly. It's called the Omni, and it had a few successful test flights last year where it flew several feet above the lake it was tested on. So for Quidditch, imagine having like 2 little helicopter things sticking out of the side that make you fly.
Fair.
Right?
It would make the game less physical because then you would just start cutting people up with your helicopter blades.
Well, like, you could probably put protective cages around them or something so that it wouldn't chop off any limbs. But and then that would solve the moving problem, right? Like, not only would you be able to fly with that, you could also just, like, zip around.
You could control it.
Yeah, you'd have to have maybe, like, a rudder or something like a boat. But it could work. You might have to work on stabilizing because I don't know how well that would work. It might be more of, like, instead of a bike, it would be, like, a ATV type of concept.
Yeah. Problems for people smarter than us.
Exactly. We're just pitching these ideas. And then so for safety, you could put these sensors on brooms as well so that they maybe can detect each other and they can be, I don't know, not so they won't crash into each other, right?
Well, it would be a similar concept to what we see in self-driving cars. With all the sensors of like obviously when there's a ton of self-driving cars on the road that need sensors to, detect everything around it.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yes, exactly. So then you would never have any injuries except for, a beater hitting a bludger at you.
Yeah, like just, your regular hitting someone in the head with a bat.
Casual, yeah. And then so when it comes to all the balls, and I guess specifically the snitch, because that's the most important one, I'm saying that we can add artificial intelligence to them, and then you're good to go. Mm-hmm. They also need to be equipped with some sort of flying technology, like the brooms, but, we can work on that later. It can use, I don't know, drone technology with the copter things, or, again, levitating, whatever, I don't know. But put some AI into them, and they'd be able to do their own thing. They'd be able to fly around on their own. They'd be able to deceive seekers, I guess. It would be so fun.
Yeah, artificial intelligence is really the key to some of this future technology.
I agree.
But I am very much about Quidditch becoming a very real thing.
And it could happen.
It really could, which makes me so happy, because
right?
as anyone knows me, I live and breathe Harry Potter.
Yeah, we got some real big Harry Potter fans over here.
Yeah. So my story is kind of a little bit more of a fixing a current sport rather than inventing a new one, though it would drastically change it, so it might as well be something new. But so we talk a lot about how football has some serious longevity problems. Mm-hmm. The game is more dangerous than ever before, and we now have an entire generation of people like ourselves who are hesitant about letting their kids play the sport. Mm-hmm. So what is the NFL going to do about it? The answer, I think, is very simple. Robots.
Ooh.
So either human or artificial intelligence-controlled robots. Everyone loves a good robot fight. I know I do. And with robots taking the field, the game of football could become even faster and stronger. So the easy way to picture this would be just with AI. At some point, we can assume that AI will become smart enough to become the perfect football athlete. And in fact, it might already be, because if you look at just Google's DeepMind AI, it's already mastered chess. Just last week. Yeah, just last week, DeepMind's AI program was able to master chess in just 4 hours. So imagine what robots with a perfect set of skills for each NFL football position would be able to do. Now, I hear the argument against having just robots, AI-controlled robots, happen there. First, every human playing would lose their jobs, and that sucks. And the sides would be virtually equal, so it might not be that entertaining.
Yeah, that's true.
So I take it to human-controlled robots. We've all seen, Pacific Rim.
So good.
Great movie. And in Pacific Rim, the pilot's brains are connected to these huge robots. And while I don't see that necessarily happening in real life anytime soon, although who knows?
What about, giant robot football?
So giant robot football would just be really destructive, as seen by those movies. But regular human-sized football robots.
Yeah, I guess you could probably shrink them.
So the kind of idea here would be, if we look at virtual and augmented reality, we can kind of see this alternative to this. So imagine this picture: robot athletes on the field, and then human athletes on the sidelines in bodysuits and VR headsets controlling them. So, I almost picture, an athlete standing on, a circular stand that would allow them, they'd be, connected to it. So they'd be allowed to run in place and stuff. It wouldn't feel to them like they're running in place. It would feel like they're actually playing and stuff like that. And they're able to do everything from, crazy catches to crazy plays. You still have that human element in there, but the game is faster, it's stronger, and no one's getting hurt other than the robots on the field. Because, it would be kind of just it would all come down to strategy and skill, and just, these players translating their skills into a robot. It would be the same thing, except no one's getting hurt. Everyone's fine.
But would they still be actually doing the movements? Because wouldn't this kind of just turn into a Wall-E type situation where they just sit and get fat?
No. They would totally. So they would still have to use their skill. They would still have to be they'd basically be in the game virtually. Hence the virtual reality headset.
Oh.
So they still have to go through all of the movements. That's why they have the bodysuit on, sensors all over the place. Which is honestly totally a possibility. This is not even that fictional.
That's true.
And it would be cool because they're still you would see them on the sidelines running and then trying to catch it or whatever, and they'd be in a little enclosed space so that they could do that, and it would then translate into the robot. But then no one's getting hurt. They're not hurting themselves unless maybe they twist their ankle from falling or whatever. But that would be no more concussions.
Yeah, for real. But would that get people to watch in person more?
I don't know. I guess
we haven't thought of that.
I think it's kind of exciting.
Yeah,
because it is. you still have the players. Like, it's still, like, it would just be a totally different experience.
There would be a lot more to watch, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you could watch the actual player, or you could watch the robot player, too.
Yeah. Well, and, like, I think here's the thing, though. This would only happen in the NFL. Like, so, like, a totally new sport popping up in the next, like, in our lifetime anyways, I think is totally realistic with technology.
Yeah.
But reinventing of a current one, I think a sport would totally have to be on its, like, dying breaths before that would happen. Like, football would have to already, like, no one watches it, no one cares. It's just, it's just like no one knows what football is anymore if this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It was so, like, obviously it's not going to happen now. It's still the highest rated sport in North America. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's all the points you had.
Yeah, no, point being, technology is going to be cool.
Yeah, lots of fun,
tuned.
guys. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. This has been episode 23, which is kind of impressive. Again, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Mandy V Kovacs, and Alex.
I'm at Alex T Radu.
Awesome. And again, if you guys get a chance, please go rate and like us on iTunes or Google Play or wherever else you listen to us. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and if you do have any discussion topics, trivia, news stories, just send them our way. Email at techandsports@itwc.ca or hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, everyone.